All right. Today's topic is going to be on the topic of portals. Now, portals, yeah, I'm bringing it up again. Portals do play hand in hand with other topics that I've recently touched upon, and I'm going to kind of briefly go into why. All right. So, we know that portals can be created by having excessive clutter in your home, right? Whether it is clothing being piled up and cluttered, or obsolete objects, broken objects piled up in the home, items you're not using anymore. But there's a lot of things, broken stuff, things that you have a hard time letting go of and you're not using, and it's taking up space, and you're empowering it because you can see it and it's taking energy from your synergy cell energy, right? So there's that. They're creating energetic portals where you can have entities come in and out of that. They can go between the dimensions, all right, the different realms, and mess with your life. We know this. And then the other is through intimate acts, right? Most intimate acts, a lot of intimate acts do happen on beds. That's not to say all of them do, because people be people. So, but for the most part, usually an intimate act is going to occur on a bed. Now, um, the reason why I say that this topic goes hand in hand with other topics, when you think about the topic of greed, and greed fuels consumerism, right? And some people have really bought into the consumerism, and some people have really bought into their own insatiable amount of greed. And even though they may not have the means to continue feeding that monster to the level that they used to be able to do it, I'm not talking about drugs. I am talking about that greedy monster inside of them. They still have to feed it. Okay? Um, Greed will make you go into debt. Greed will make you live beyond your means. And living beyond your means can mean full on consumerism and acquiring things you do not need, and acquiring things that you believe have perceived value. You perceive them to have value because you have bought into the BS marketing of said thing, like Swarovski crystal, like Yadro, like buying gold and silver, and buying, oh well, uh what's those things called? Uh Funko Pops, or Pokemon cards, or Squishmallows, or Beanie Babies, or Barbie dolls, or fill in the blank, okay? Or, it's electronics that is obsolete or broken, or it's furniture that you paid a lot of money for 20 years ago because you thought money was no object, and now it's broken and nobody's using it, and you still have a hard time letting go of it because, well, I paid a lot of money for that. So what? It's not worth what it once was. You see? And it feeds on that mentality, but it also contributes to the mentality. So this is a very slippery slope. If you find yourself living in a place that you have started to fill with too much stuff, you need to catch yourself. You need to get yourself under control. This game is about mastering your mind. Quartz Crystal has told you that again and again and again and again and again. It is a mind game. So if it is a mind game, the game is only existing in your head. All of the outward things, the things that you are viewing outside of yourself right now, do not really exist. They are figments of your imagination. And you are empowering them with your own energy so that you can look at those things. So if you have stuff that's broken and you're not using, and you look at it and it doesn't make you feel good, what do you think that's doing to your energy? You need to start controlling yourself. If you cannot control your mind, you cannot control your feelings, your urges, your desires, your actions, etc. You have to gain control. You have to gain control in every aspect of yourself. And it's not easy. It's not, but you have to do it. It's important for you to start examining your environment. So some people will never let go of the idea that they are entitled to things, that they are greedy, and they want things, even though they can no longer afford those things, and they cannot part with the things that they've acquired, that they've pissed all their money away on. And then what they do, they've used all of the credit that they could possibly use. And now they're reaching out to other people for other people's money to feed their offspring's level of greed. And the offspring is bringing in more things and just consuming and filling up the space. Okay? So there's that. And this is, yes, this I'm pulling from personal experiences and people in my own life. But if the shoe fits, and apply it as you see fit, and look at your own life and check it. Is there stuff in my life that represents what she's saying? And think about that. So there's that. There's also the portals that are created through intimate acts. Okay? I brought this up in the summertime when I had spent the night in the hotel for myself, right? So what are you barking at, mister? Are you not getting attention? He's sitting right here and he's barking at I don't know what. So then, okay, I digress. Sorry. So then there's the portals that are created through intimate acts, all right? And, it's a little more obvious that if somebody goes to a hotel, that there might be some intimate stuff going on in hotel rooms, right? A lot of people go to hotels to have a good time, to do a little partying, to do a little hookup, a little hibbity dibbities, things like that. I mean, that's just kind of how it is. And some people go to no-tell motels, and some people go to hotels and they get a little bit, oh, we're going to be a little extra bougie tonight and we're going to have ourselves a good time, right? There's all those reasons. Or just because, somebody needs a hotel and they're with their partner and whatever the reasons. But the same thing goes for in the homes. Yes, now there may be certain beds in certain homes where, okay, a child sleeps on a bed, so there's not necessarily going to be that kind of a portal opened on that bed, but other beds may have that. And you never know, because married people do as married people do. You never know. Okay? So, yes, why am I talking about this? Because I'm staying in somebody's house. Very nice guest ensuite. Very nice, okay? It's like a hotel room. It's beautiful. It's perfect. King size bed, all to myself, me and the dog, but I didn't close down the portal. Now, when I come into anybody's house, I banish the entity that is the house entity, and I kind of do like a quick rundown of kind of just cleansing the house. And I'm not talking about like saging the house. I'm just talking about like, declaring I'm banishing any entities and portals and whatever. So whatever the case may be, didn't do it to the bed, right? So 2 nights ago, I'm sleeping and I had a dream where I thought I was awake. And I've had many dreams like that in the last couple of years where it feels like I'm awake. I'm dreaming and I feel like I'm awake, but I'm not. You see, or I'm not in as deep of a sleep as I could be, and I'm kind of coming out of the sleep, but it makes me think I'm in my waking state. And I had a dream like that the other night, and I was like, oh, okay. And I closed the portal. I made a conscious effort to close the portal last night because it's like, this is why I had a problem the other night. This is why I had a problem Tuesday night. And now, Wednesday night, I'm not going to have the same problem because, duh, I recognized it. So that's what I did. So that closed down and I had a peaceful night's sleep. Peaceful. Peaceful. So, yeah, you have to be mindful of the environment that you're in at all times. And if you don't have your own space and you're living in somebody's space, again, you can't make big changes without them getting upset, but you have to do what is right for you. And if you are in somebody's space and you're using their room or a spare room for a period of time, you have to do what you can. But you as the person that is the prime user of the dwelling or the space, you need to make sure that everything in your home that you have is utilitarian, that you get pleasure, that you get joy out of using those things, and you're not inundating yourself with too much stuff. Does everything have a purpose? Okay. Say you are a baker or something, and you have certain tools in the kitchen because of that, or somebody who likes to cook, or somebody who likes to woodwork, whatever the case may be. You have those things for that thing, but you're using them, and the overall pursuit of said thing gives you pleasure, gives you joy, then those things are beneficial for you. But if you are living in a space where you are consumed with stuff and it is not a space that evokes joy from you or anybody else, then you need to examine things going on in you. And it's hard. And if you know somebody that is living like that, and let's say even if they're not an awake person, and I mean, if they're not a source player, it's kind of a moot point. But sometimes, but I'll tell you right now, even with source players, it's sometimes very hard to nudge them out of that, especially I know some that are so unwilling to let go of their desire to clutter their space. I sometimes want to kick them off a bridge out of frustration. And please understand that is just hyperbole. It's not literal. Okay? So anyway, it's frustrating.